welcome to another episode of the Hollywood Kippax podcast, the number one Man City Instagram podcast on IG. Uh, Will, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. So I apologize to the viewers today if you're watching this. If I look like I'm in 240p right now, but
For
we're
real,
trying
for
to
real.
get this going, bro.
This is the graphics from what, like 2011, 2012? Like what
Yeah,
people
no, I feel very MySpace right now.
very MySpace. Hilarious. Um, eh, am I wrong, dude, for my prediction about Haaland?
Oh
About
man,
Haaland being best served as a super sub?
I
You
mean,
know,
uh, a lot of Man City fans will say you're fucking crazy. You know, I said you were crazy, but in this fucking case, in this game, you were super right, dude.
I was. Even though I will say, yeah, Haaland was coming off the bench. He's been out on injury. But in at the end of the Real Madrid match, when we were kind of doing taking stock of the damage after the loss, you know what I mean, and
Yeah,
discussing about what things went wrong, I was the one that said that, maybe we should think about using Haaland as a sub because I came up with this whole unifying theory of the Haaland effect, where teams basically make their strategy around man marking Haaland out of the game and really containing Haaland in as part of their strategy against Man City. But like bringing him on as as a sub when the other defense is worn down and they can't really, like they can't really do as well against Haaland as say the beginning of the game.
yeah,
Haaland would just run riot over them in the second half.
yeah.
And I'm not saying that we need to play Haaland use Haaland as a super sub from here on out. I'm just saying every now and then switch it up so that it keeps the other team not knowing what striker we're going to play. Are we going to play Alvarez? Or are we going to play Haaland? And if Haaland comes on in the second half, he can, get that clutch goal that we know that he's capable of. And as we saw in the Nottingham Forest match, that second goal was really crucial for us to get the win and move forward with 4 games to go. So, Will, were you watching? Were you watching the Nottingham Forest game this weekend?
I kept dozing in and out, but I did see the goals because of the commotion that would happen on the TV. But yeah, overall, after the game, when I woke up, I ended up watching the highlights. So yeah, I did my analysis.
All right, so we got 2 games to review. We have to review the Brighton game, and then we have to review the Nottingham Forest game. So we'll just start back on the Thursday midweek when we played Brighton,
Yeah,
and to jog your memory for the game ended 4-0. KDB scored in the 60th minute with a diving header. Foden scored in the 25th minute with a set piece deflection. Then Foden scored again in the 33rd minute. There was a bit of a defensive mistake. Foden got the ball, put it in the back of the net. Goes in 3-0. And then the 61st minute, Ederson to Walker. Walker tries scoring, deflects to Alvarez and scores 4-0, and the game ends 4-0. So, Will, what are your thoughts about this Brighton game?
I have 3 words, and I think you know what those words are:
Say it.
consistency, consistency,
Consistency.
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 God damn it, Phil Foden. Phil fucking
Phil
Foden.
fucking Foden, dude.
I mean, can
Best player in Europe.
it hurts me that I bought that jersey and it didn't fit me. So
Oh,
now
man.
we have fucking Ipkiss, the prodigal son, is wearing it now. Damn
Yeah.
skinny guys.
I know. I mean, it's not my fault you decided to buy the authentic kit. You know what I mean? And
Who do I think I am, dude?
I don't know, but you're definitely 0 for 2 on wearing kits. You know what I mean? Like
Oh my god,
I
that's
bought you
funny.
that special treble kit at the end of last year, which apparently does not fit you anymore.
No, it doesn't.
And then the Foden kit. I mean, that would be it's I mean, obviously authentic kits, they're very clean, they have a very tapered fit, but like I guess word to the wise, make sure you buy it as a size larger, I guess.
When I
Or
put it when I put it on, it fit dope on the arms. Like you said, when you put your Kevin De Bruyne jersey, it fits like armor, right? You know
yeah.
what I mean? I was like, oh, dude, I felt yoked. V cut wasn't so V'd out, crest. But just this fucking area right here, dude, it was fucking tight, and I looked like a rope with a knot in it. You know what I mean? It-
Man.
the guy likes bruise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he likes his brews. He likes the Pacificos. Sure wish I had Pacifico right now, George. Am I right?
Right?
Because we got George in the chat. So I mean, what about this match? This match was very clinical. You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah,
4-0 victory. Really need this victory. Brighton could have been a banana peel game. You know what I mean? Because we're going away to Brighton,
yeah,
but this was just super clinical. You know, playing Foden centrally. No, Foden was on the wing, but the way this match worked out, you know, with KDB and Foden, you know, like it just kind of gives you a little taste tester if maybe KDB was more, um, not, you know, was more healthy throughout this year, and we could have seen more of this squad throughout the year, see where we could have been maybe in the Champions League.
yeah.
But you know, but we got to take this result where we can get it. But this was just a clinical game. We held it down, clean sheet, and we get the 3 points. What are your thoughts about this game, Will?
It's well, first of all, Kevin De Bruyne, dude. I haven't seen a header being done like that since Van Persie. I haven't seen a header done like that since Hugo Sanchez in Real Madrid. I haven't seen that's so fucking like the way it was done, the way it was executed was just legendary, brother. And I'm glad that he has that under his belt now. First header Premier League goal, dude. How
Yeah,
insane is that? It's the hair. It's got to be the hair. You know what I mean? The hair
I don't
scoring
know.
now. Even the
The,
hair is scoring now.
the hair is its own person. It has its own consciousness,
Exactly, you
and
know?
it wants to score goals as well. So it's just his mind on its own. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I can appreciate diving header. As you say, I'm a big fan of diving headers, and it harkening back to last fall when I predicted an Ake diving header that I later
Oh
retracted.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But that you don't see diving headers a lot anymore,
Hell
especially
no.
coming from KDB. You love to see it. We'll be talking about KDB's future here in a minute, but who do you got for your man of the match?
Come on, man. Phil Foden, baby.
Consistency, consistency, consistency,
Yes, sir.
and we'll talk about takeaways because we also had a net game very shortly after that on this last Sunday against Nottingham Forest away at the City Ground, and highlights on that. Uh, So KDB assists Gavardi on a set piece in the 31st minute, makes it 1-0. And then Halan comes off the bench, scores in the 70th minute, makes it 2-0. And then the game ends 2-0. Uh, Will, what are your thoughts on this match?
A lot of people gave me a lot of flack when I put out that clip of me saying that Gavardio hasn't showed me that much. And
Yeah.
at the point, I mean, I'm gonna stand by what I said. You know, he didn't really show me much until the Real Madrid game, and then after that, he's showing who he is, showing that belongs in the team. And now this is the form that we want. This is the Gavardiol that I guess everybody stood up for. You know, and now I'm
Hmm.
seeing it, and I respect, and I take back everything that I said. You know, that video made me look dumb, maybe. You know, but
Yeah.
like I said, I recant everything I said, and holy shit, the guy is fucking good. And what a beautiful fucking header and getting it, especially from the king. You know what I mean? The king
Yeah.
sets up these fucking pillows just for any player, and you should be kissing Kevin De Bruyne's shoes for that one, dog, because that was beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the game was pretty nervy 1-0. Nottingham Forest had their chances and they were very threatening. Also, like just like some little bit of shithousery before the game was that a lot of the players after the game were complaining about the pitch conditions. Did you hear about this? About
Hmm.
how Nottingham Forest didn't wet their ground because typically Premier League teams wet the turf before they play
Mm,
because it makes the pitch conditions more optimal. But apparently, Nottingham Forest didn't turn on their sprinklers. It just made the pitch super dry and a lot of the players were complaining about the pitch conditions. And like, even if you catch Pep's interview at the end, it's like they were lucky that we got this result with the pitch conditions. I think Gavardiol said something. Walker, I think, filed a grievance with the Premier League about it, about how bad the just the pitch conditions were. But and not saying that that was one of the obstacles on that Sunday, but they're able to get the result 2-0. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure you're catching that, but I mean, that to me is just like Nottingham Forest needed the result too because they're facing relegation territory or they're like very close to it, so they needed the result too as well. So they thought that in order to get an advantage was to make their own ground not optimal, so that it would stop Man City from doing their thing, and that they could like shit house their way to a goal, right? But it just seemed like Nottingham Forest, like they would get the ball back, but then like when they got to the final third, they just had like nothing. You know what I mean? Just fizzled out. And I do shout out our back line once again for holding it down and making some really crucial stops and blocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. They were trying to give him the Sunday League experience at Nottingham Forest Stadium.
Just like
Oh yeah.
they're pulling some real like Bell, California Sunday League Sunday
That's
League BS. You know what I'm saying?
and I fell on dirt, rocks, twigs, dry ass yellow grass, patchy ass pitches, and we're talking about professionals. Come on, dog. How do you not wet the grass?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's fucked
I don't
up.
know. I mean, they were trying to get any advantage, and they thought that was an advantage, and it didn't work out because we
Didn't
still were able
work.
to get a 2-0. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, uh, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. KDB to Gavardiol was a great was a great play. But like once again, I mean, I know Halon was only coming on as a sub. He had an injury and coming on in the second half to score a goal to get to give us a 2-0 lead and to get kind of lessen the nerves and go into this game and win the 3 points. All I'm saying is that Halon could be used as a super sub every now and then. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm not sure how many more seasons we have with Pep, maybe one or two more. You know what I mean? Hopefully, maybe more than that. But give or take, we have at least like one or two more seasons with Pep. When he's thinking about the lineup and we go into a game, say a big game against a big team, we could change it up. Alvarez is a perfectly capable starting striker. You know what I mean? He got a goal against Brighton, right? And that was his
Yeah.
first goal since February. He's a perfectly capable person of starting a game and maybe assisting someone or getting a goal himself. And then we sell him off for Halan, who once they have been run ragged, Halon comes on and just like runs amok and just does his thing, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just gets a header in there, you know what I mean? Does what you gotta do. So like I'm just saying that Halon as a super sub could work. I would say put a percentage to it. I would say Halon as a super sub could work a quarter of the time. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like just in a big game when we like need to like kind of just switch it up on a team and and have them kind of be like, oh shit, what do we do now? Like I'd say that would work a lot. I know a lot of the big six matches and maybe next year in Europe when we play like like go into like we face Real Madrid again. But I don't think we're gonna be facing Real Madrid in a quarterfinal or semifinal with the new rules that are in place because uh just with the way seeds work in like leagues, I guess now like this is I guess a seed system that we wouldn't face Real Madrid until we got to the final, which is unfortunate that we had to face them this year in the quarterfinal, and you know what I mean. By the way, were you
Yeah.
watching the Champions League today?
Yes.
What'd you think of
Yeah.
the Bayern game?
Uh, I mean, it was pretty even, dog. To be honest, Real Madrid killed it in the fucking first half. And somehow they ended up downgrading in the second half, and Bayern scored those two quick goals, and then Real Madrid just always finds that PK to level things out in the game or find them to win, and it happened again today.
It's the Champions League script writers, man.
You know what I
They're like,
mean?
oh hell no, we can't have Real Madrid going down 2-1 into the second leg, so we got Vinny Vinny a penalty. Yeah,
Yep.
2-2.
Yep.
Take it back to the Bernabeu
Yep.
now. So yeah, I mean I actually didn't watch this game even when I was at work, but I was just keeping abreast of the updates, and I'm just like, damn it, when I saw the Vinny penalty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like the amount of
Yeah.
luck they get in that competition, man.
Hey,
It's unbelievable.
someone we do need to give props to is Erling Haaland for scoring in this game
Yeah,
because that was a classic Kevin De Bruyne to Erling Haaland fucking through pass and finish. Because we
for
haven't seen
sure.
one of those in a while, dude. And Kevin De Bruyne, I kind of agree with what you said about him coming in as a sub sometimes because you got a warmed up fucking Kevin De Bruyne, already assisted Gavardiol, and then goes in with the fresh leg Erling Haaland. That was a
Hmm.
beautiful fucking recipe for that goal, dude. You know,
Yeah.
so it was fucking dope. And then the little leg switch he does for the finish, that was
Hmm.
badass too. I was like, okay, Erling, he's back, he's back. You know what I mean? And there was something interesting you said on Saturday where you're all like, damn, Julian Alvarez scored. He's put Erling Haaland is put on notice. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, and you were right. It made him fucking score this game.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, Haaland was coming back from injury. I gotta give him that. I'm not gonna, and I'm not gonna take any Haaland slander. You know what I mean? He's a number 9,
Yeah,
and a lot of the debate and around Haaland is that he's absent in big games. But like a good point that was brought up was that with the number 9, you're gonna have to concede the fact that sometimes Haaland is absent in games when you're not just giving him any service. You know what I mean? If the midfield's not giving him any through balls or anything to work with, he's not going to score. I mean, like I remember, like what was it, 2 seasons ago when we were complaining about not having a number 9 and we had to play with the false 9 the whole season because we couldn't get Harry Kane going into the season. Remember that season
yeah,
when
yeah, yeah,
we were thought that we were going to get Kane, but that deal fell through, and there was really no suitable number 9s in the market, and so like we had to play the whole season with the 4-3-3, and we made it to a final. You know what I mean? But like we didn't win. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And then it took Haaland to get Haaland, and then we went on a treble run. You know what I mean? There were other moving parts to that, but definitely Haaland played a part in that because like what he had like how many goals he had that season, 50, 70 goals. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So like a lot of people see a bad game from Haaland and then forget about just like that he is a prolific goal scorer, and that number 9 is just going to have that problem when they're going to be absent if you say that. You know what I mean? Like, but like I think honestly, like even that, like Haaland isn't really necessarily a Pep profile striker. You know what I mean? Like I would say Alvarez fits the profile of a Pep striker. You know what I mean? Like think about Aguero. Like Aguero was someone that was a number 9, but he could also drop deep into the midfield and give service to other people. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
think Aguero, I guess you could say Aguero was more of a Pep profile striker.
yeah,
Haaland isn't really that way because Haaland has yet to develop that his game, and we still also got to pay attention to the fact that he's only 23. I mean, he has many more years to develop his game, and he might. I think he definitely will develop the game where he's able to drop into the midfield and assist players or receive the ball deep. But I just necessarily think that even buying Haaland last season, like Haaland is obviously goal game striker, and that's why we bought him. But he's not necessarily a Pep striker. You know what I mean? So he's going to necessarily have to learn over the course of time moving forward about how to be a Pep striker, I guess,
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I agree.
for sure. So who's your man of the match for the Forest
Kevin De
game?
Bruyne,
Kevin De Bruyne?
two
Yeah, I'd
beautiful
say so.
assists.
For sure. And so now we could kind of get at some takeaways. Well, you're watching any of the other Premier League matches this weekend?
Oh yeah, I saw the Liverpool game.
I was actually asleep when that was because I was on I was taking a weekend vacation with my girlfriend and
Nice,
um I slept through the Liverpool but woke up for the City match
nice.
and but yeah, Liverpool drew 2-2. What were your thoughts on that?
The last tie they had, it was like, dude, you guys have some kind of hope. You better hope for something to happen, and then boom, tie again, and that just got him out of the fucking race badly.
Yeah.
And then the way things went down between him and Mohamed Salah arguing on the sidelines when he was getting subbed in, I was like, ooh, this is getting ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this if it I mean, I said about what was the last match they dropped? Wasn't it Crystal Palace they lost
Yes.
when people were saying that was the death of their season. I mean, if this was anything, this was like the final moment, you know what I mean, of
Yeah.
their season, you know what I mean, where their trophy hope, their title hope, it was, has fully been squashed, and Klopp's retirement run from Liverpool, or is now officially a nightmare. But like, um, but I mean, yeah, like, I mean, so I mean it'd be really interesting to see what becomes of Liverpool after this season. You know what I mean? I definitely think there's going to be an exodus of players. They're getting a Dutch manager. Arne Slot is confirmed to take over for Liverpool.
Okay.
I'm gonna be just curious to see what kind of team this will be. And like I'm already thinking though that this Arne Slot Liverpool is already gonna be this like transitory team where they vacillate in like fifth to eighth place. You know what I mean? Kind of like how they were last season when they were like, remember when Liverpool was like seventh or eighth last season? You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? Just
yeah.
like at the bottom, and it totally dropped off. You know what I mean? And this is going to be definitely a drop off for them, and they're going to have to go through like maybe 1 or 2 seasons of Arne Slot where they're just like don't have the pieces left. He doesn't really have a lot to work with, and then they finally get a manager like who knows, maybe Xabi Alonso eventually comes to Liverpool and they
Damn.
give him what he needs, and then they go on another run. But like this just doesn't bode well, and it's I mean, like Klopp announces, that he was leaving, and he was hoping that this would somehow galvanize a quadruple run for Liverpool and go off into the sunset with a lot of success. But that's panned out to just the Carabao Cup. So,
Damn.
so
Yep,
oh
yep,
well,
yep.
Klopp, thanks for playing. So, you know what I'm
Wow.
saying? But anyhow, you love to see it though. Man United drew Burnley. Shout out Vincent Company for getting the result and seeing United drop 1-1. Well, were you watching that match?
I saw pieces of it, and I made sure that Tony heard everything about it.
For real, for real. I mean, I just want them to like have that result happen and get so angry and then take it out on Arsenal.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because United has to go away to Old Trafford um and win, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, like typically I would say United loses that one because obviously Arsenal's a better team, but like I can't believe I'm saying it, but like I'm actually pulling for United to beat Arsenal and get that result and just like somehow like ball out and have the game of their lives against Arsenal instead of just rolling over for them.
This would be that time.
For
This would be
real.
that time that we're like, "All right, come on, for the city of Manchester, guys."
Yeah. 'Cause I don't know. I'm not sure how much I mean the city hate runs in the United fan base. I mean, sure there is, but like I mean it's different for like a team like say Tottenham, right? Like Tottenham will throw games if it meant Arsenal doesn't win the league.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's the situation that we're facing too, because like we had to go away to Tottenham, right? But I'm talking to every Spurs fan that I know, and all they're saying is let's wrap up top four and then we'll play our under 19s team against City. You know what I mean? Like literally, they're like they know like they understand the assignment is to not let Arsenal win the league. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
like that's what all my Spurs friends are saying. But you know, but obviously you want to go out there and get a result. But like
Yeah.
if they do actually take the game seriously, which I think they will. I mean, like it's going to be hard to get a result away. We just got our first result away in the FA Cup at the beginning of the year, and now we're um, we're playing them away in the Premier League. You know what I mean? So technically, you can also say that we've never scored on them in the Premier League. So that's there's just some shitty roundabouts at that. You know what I mean? We still got to beat them in the
Yeah.
Premier League.
Fuck, man. It's getting tighter. It's getting
Yeah.
tighter.
And speaking of Spurs being Spursy, and Arsenal beat Tottenham 3-2 when we needed them to get the result. You know what I mean?
God
What
damn you,
the
Cameron.
what the fuck, Spurs? You know
What
what I
the fuck,
mean?
Cameron and
What?
Spurs?
Yeah, Cam, you need to answer, bro. And Cam is here finally,
There she is.
finally, finally, finally. He just showed up right in the nick of time. Cam,
His ears are ringing, dude.
yeah,
That's funny.
Karen saying Wesley Snipes tears gun meme.
Damn gun.
Yeah, he's just like, oh man. And then Ipkiss in the chat say, take a sip every time the fellows say, you know what I mean?
Know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Fuck.
That's hilarious.
Put a L in the chat for Ipkiss. Lakers lost to the Nuggets last night. And
Oh,
and unfortunately, it looks like LeBron is going to be leaving.
What?
Yeah, from what I hear, from the reports I'm reading, that this contract goes with the Lakers, and he's going to access free agency. He's 40 years old, man. He's an old man now, and I
Yes.
think he needs like 2 more seasons to become like the player that's played the most seasons. Because I think the player that's played the most seasons in the NBA is Vince Carter, which is 21. And LeBron's played 20 seasons. So if he wants to be he needs to play at least 2 more seasons to have been a player that played the longest in the NBA. So, yeah. So Ibkis, sorry about that, brother.
There, because you still got your segment on the goddamn fucking podcast.
Yeah, he's in the chat for
Somehow,
sure.
somehow it still happened. Laker talk.
Laker talk. We get Laker talk. Clippers are doing good. How about those Clippers? Um, the only time I ever go to a basketball game now, it's because of the Clippers, because their seats are super cheap.
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say because they're going for $25.
$30, yeah. What about while we're on the other teams? How about the Kings? Playoff hockey, brother. You know what I mean?
Hey, those tickets are free too.
I think it's for real. I would love to go to a playoff game.
Oh shit.
Um, yeah. But yeah, Cam, set pieces. Yeah, well, Cam, we need you to get the result, and see this. Every this just happens every time too. I was thinking about that. It's like every time we need Spurs to beat Arsenal, they don't do it. It's like we need the result, and they don't do it. You know what I mean? Totally unreliables.
Not good.
Unreliable.
Not
Cannot
good.
get that result. Anyhow, so that was it from the Premier League from the weekend. Well, anything else to add before we move on?
That's about it, brother.
All right. Well, let's get into some talking points, because there are a few talking points from around Twitter that I gleaned, and we can just get right into it. But I think the first point I want to talk about is the future of KDB. So maybe, I know it's a little bit premature because the season hasn't ended yet, but maybe we can assess KDB's return to the squad, because he's been in the squad now since the beginning of the year, and talk about KDB's form and what his future may hold at City. So, Will, how do you, to this point now in the season, what do you make of KDB's return? You know what I mean? How do you if you had to overall assess his performance?
Um, Seeing him come back from injury, it showed us that our guy's aging, bro. Yes, he's badass. Yes, he kills it. But I mean, the guy is fucking aging, bro. And I mean, this is the most I've seen him have consecutive injuries, dude. You know, ever since he
Hmm.
had that bad one that we lost him for most of the fucking season, where he like kind of gazelled on the ground. I
Hmm.
don't, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's around time. I give him one more year at City, and he could live. I mean, the guy can live the rock star life, dude. Because I keep seeing that the interest in Saudi Arabia. You see them wine dine and 69ing him over there. You know, he's over there wearing the attire and the shades and living like royalty over there. But I mean,
Yeah.
Ronaldo's over there and he hates it. You know what I mean? Ronaldo's over
Yeah.
there and he fucking hates it over there. He can't wait to get the fuck out of there. So, I mean, the best thing he can do is he can live the rockstar life and come to LAFC, where we welcome him with open arms, and he can play with Giroud and just be the most beautiful guy in the world.
I was thinking about this because I think when he came back, the result that really stands out in my mind, and that still does, and I knew that this would happen, is like, thinking back to that Newcastle game where KDB came back
Oh
and
yeah,
galvanized us back to a win. Like, he got the leveling goal and assisted Bob to
yeah.
win and beat Newcastle. And I still think about it now, that like that game really saved our season, and saved our playoff run, if it does ring true that we do win our fourth Premier League title back to back. And that was his first game back. So like
Yeah.
instant impact, instant great impact. And we're like, oh man, this is a KDB, reborn. You know what I mean? Like Gandalf
Hmm.
the Gray goes to Gandalf the White. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just the new and improved KDB, right?
Came back with
But
that hair.
yeah, the hair and the style. But like I just think over time, I mean, I've just noticed in a few instances where he does lack stamina, he does lack pace. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And he did have a groin injury where he was out maybe for a few weeks. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, it kind of put a damper on that. And I honestly want this to be where KDB comes back and KDB is just the is this has this like rebirth or like a like a comeback, you know what I mean, kind of like a musician, right, where like he comes back and he's doing better, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
uh and I just it hasn't really hit like that or stayed like that, but like that's understandable, and I'm not going to knock KDB for that. um you know one news story though, it does look like KDB will stay. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I
Yeah.
would love, and I think him staying is the best option for him and for the club and for us. Like I definitely don't think KDB is necessarily done. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I necessarily don't think he's just like 1 year and done. I think but like I just yeah, I mean I do see that as Cam was pointing out in the chat, Father Time is undefeated. You know what I mean? And like I'm looking at a team like Real Madrid. Like Real Madrid has had some aging players in that squad. Like they still have Modric,
Tony
uh,
Kroos.
Tony Kroos, Benzema. Like they had Benzema post like past 35. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that team was benefited by these late player career like bumps, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, like Modric is still killing it. He's like over 35, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like Messi's like over 35 and or like, 30, mid 30s and still killing it. You know what I mean? Like I sincerely hope that KDB has that kind of career, you know what I mean, in the coming years, like let's say that 4 years. Because he's about like what, he's 33. You know what I'm saying? Like uh I sincerely hope that he can have that career and we do as a club reap that benefit. You know what I mean? Like of
Yeah.
having an advanced age KDB who could still like put it on. You know what I mean? So um I don't I mean like I honestly don't see him going to the Saudi league. Look at all the players that are complaining about it who are immediately coming back from the
Yeah.
Saudi league and they're not they're not necessarily happy with it. I just the news stories so that he's going to come back, but like just taking some stock of KDB where he's at this year, and I would love to have him back, and let's see how he goes moving forward. You know what I mean? Get some rest this summer and see how he comes back in the fall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. With the way that he's aging and all the injuries and everything, that fool still gets down. So, with the way that the team is gonna be kind of doing a cleansing this season in the summer,
Hmm.
with all the players that we kind of think that are gonna leave, we have Claudio Echeverri, we have homeboy. He came from Girona too. What's his name?
Salvio,
Savio. We have a bunch of young players that are, Phil Foden. We got our boy Oscar Bob. You know,
Gavardiol.
yeah. So it would be nice to put all these young ass players around Kevin De Bruyne and have Kevin De Bruyne be that mentor, that guidance, the example. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it, to see him have come 1 more year, 2 more years, and have him have the team built around him and him, not having to do all so much of the work. Because if he has all these young ass players, I'm super interested to see how Claudio Echeverri is gonna play. Because that's gonna be fucking awesome, bro. I can't wait
yeah.
to see that fucking kid. So
Although I do think that he's the next Messi thing is thrown about too much often. You know what I mean?
everyone's always the next Messi, dude.
Yeah, every Argentinian is the next Messi, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and like, and I think he's gonna be a fucking fantastic player, don't get me wrong, but I just think that, like, when I hear that he'll be the next Messi, it's just like, okay, well, let's not put that expectation on this player, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
let's not do that. Let's just kind of see how it goes and see if he becomes a prolific goal scorer. Even like the Alvarez connections, like, oh, he's the next Aguero, you know what I mean? Which like great is an excellent idea, but like let's not put that expectation on him.
yeah,
And it's unfair to the player development to like put that label, that superlative on him. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
yeah, but looking at some things in the chat, Bradley Prouting is brought this up in the chat. I still feel like they're mentally drained from last season. That was really a push. Do you think that the treble hangover did was something?
No, man, because we got a lot of new pieces this season too. You know, we had Gavardio to work with. We have Kovacic to work with. Who else? We had one more.
Uh, it's not coming to mind.
Yeah, me neither.
Uh,
But either
Doku.
way, oh Doku. Those are a bunch of new pieces to work with, you know, and a lot of them are starting to get a lot of game time. We had Erling Haaland injuries, Kevin De Bruyne injuries. We had Kyle Walker injury. We have point is that it's not some I we talked about this earlier in the season. It's I didn't think of it as such as a hangover. Just we were rebuilding, and it kind of slows down the way things were last season. You know.
Yeah, and also Patrick Hawley from Sydney Australia Blues, brought Mateus Nunes as well. Was one of the new
Oh,
additions.
there we go, Mateus
You
Nunes
know,
too.
like, and I'm just reflecting on this from last season, but like, I think a lot of the reason why we won the treble is that we had this system, and the system just kind of became so consistent, especially at this like business end of the season. It felt like last year that winning the treble felt inevitable. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like it was just things were locking in place, and the form was moving ahead, and it was just like, yeah, it's inevitable. They're gonna win. We're gonna win this treble, even though at the time we couldn't really say the word treble, but like but
yeah,
like I saw from like it's like this feels inevitable. And a lot of that system was around Gundogan, you know what I mean? Gundogan in midfield and him popping up in the box every now and then and
yeah,
getting those really clutch goals, those clutch moments uh was what propels to the treble. But we lost all those players. We lost Gundogan, we lost Riyad Mahrez, you know what I mean? Like a lot of those players that were integral to winning the treble, we lost them, and now we've been playing with this team. And like to be honest, we could have won. We could have. We could still be in contention for the for another treble right now
yeah,
if the Real Madrid games went a different way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and it's like we are the best team in Europe, but we didn't win again in that second leg against Real Madrid. And I'll still say this too, that even if Real Madrid wins the Champions League, they're not necessarily the best team in Europe. I still think we were the best team in Europe, but that's just how it goes. Champions League draws, and certain moments don't go our way, and luck moments go for another team, right? So,
yeah.
um, you know what I mean?
It's not so much of a kick in the balls. Yeah, we did lose as defending champions to be the best in Europe. But I mean, we still have the trophies to be the best in England, and I mean that's still fucking good. That's what we expect every season. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, the treble, would have been nice, but we still have two cups to worry about.
yeah. We got some lot of people on Instagram and chat. Dave Walker made a comment: "Can only see Spurs stopping us winning the double." I really think it's going to be two games. I think it's Arsenal. The games to look at obviously is Arsenal versus Man United and City versus Tottenham. Like, who's going to drop? You know what I mean? Is Arsenal going to lose to United? Is City going to lose to Spurs? You know what I mean? Who's going to win and who's going to lose? I think those are definitely the two games I'm looking at the next four games. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, Bradley Prouting, Bellingham went missing in the both Champions League games. Does he still win the Ballon d'Or? You know what? Dare we get on this topic right now? I see some shit with the Ballon d'Or for this next season. I think it's looking pretty inevitable that Mbappe is going to win the Ballon d'Or this year. I think it's pretty he's already scored like how many goals this season? 70 goals across all competitions. He's looking to take his team to the Champions League final. He's on the table for all the for four trophies right now, the quadruple. If Cameron's still in the chat. What's the French domestic league title? Someone in the chat tell me that. What's the name of the French domestic league title? But he's on the table for everything.
hmm
So um I think, but it's just so frustrating because Mbappe's having the season that Haaland had last year,
exactly.
and Haaland won everything, and they still gave it to Messi, who just won the World Cup and then had a absolutely trash season, like in his for his clubs. Like he left mid-season to the MLS from PSG after an acrimonious split after the World Cup for dunking on Mbappe too hard, and then and then went to the MLS and like scored some goals. But just because he won the World Cup and he already had 8 or 9 Ballon d'Ors in his pocket, why did he need another one? Give it to Haaland, who had obviously the best regular season of any player, right? If that's what the award is, and it's looking like it's going to Mbappe, and Mbappe is a FIFA darling. He is like the darling of FIFA. He's French. He's already won a World Cup. You know what I mean? Like this is just being set up for Mbappe to win the Ballon d'Or, and it irritates the shit out of me that it's going to go to Mbappe this season, just because the circumstances are different, and he had his great season this season, and Haaland had his season when Messi won a World Cup. So,
Mhm.
like, that's just knowing that now just irritates me about as much as Real Madrid fans just existing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
those two things irritate me. Real Madrid and Mbappe win the Ballon d'Or. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
That's funny.
yeah. So, Bradley Prouting Martinez won the World Cup for Argentina, not Messi. Talking about Emi Martinez, the goalkeeper.
Emiliano.
Shout out Emi
Yeah.
Martinez, Aston Villa goalkeeper. And then Patrick Hawley, Messi will win the Ballon d'Or. Scored 7 goals last week. His kids in the backyard against his kids in the backyard. That's a joke. So, yeah, scored 7 goals. Uh, yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah,
Strong nomination should be for our boy Phil Foden, man, because that
and
guy's having.
then
Oh shit, go ahead.
Cameron having batshit crazy takes. If Kane wins the Champions League, he'll be the front runner.
It could be a strong nomination. Yes, I would say.
A strong nomination, yeah, front runner or in the conversation, but I don't think he necessarily wins. If he wins the Champions League, maybe, but
Yeah.
I just think the script is being written for Mbappe win this Ballon d'Or. You know what I mean? And that just irritates me.
Um,
Um,
if it is Belling well, no, what do we say, Harry Kane?
yeah.
It should go Kylian Mbappe, Harry Kane, Phil Foden, and then Jude Bellingham for nominations.
I mean, I think Phil Foden's been the best player in Europe this season,
You know what I
but
mean?
you know, Bradley Prowden, do you think Eddie will be out for the rest of the season? That was one of the other city topics. Just news through the wire though
That's right.
that Ederson is not out for the season. Ederson is was assessed and he's going to be back in training in a few days.
Mm. Hey, and that's not bad. Ortega plays good, so it's not bad, man. It's not bad.
Ortega is definitely the most capable backup keeper in of any team in any context. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think I have no qualms about that. That's just going to be a loss when we lose him in the summer window because I know he wants to be number one at a club. So we're going to be losing him, and then so that means that we'll definitely have to find a replacement backup keeper. You know what I mean? And Ortega definitely is, unless we offer him like some sterling contract where he still feels the incentive to stay. And you know what I mean? But I definitely know that his intention is to find a club where he can be the number one.
She.
Yeah. All right. Well, one also news story that I saw is that starting in that's for the 25-26 season, is that the new FFP rules. There's going to be new financial fair play rules, and from what I've understood about it, is that teams will be have there'll be a spending cap introduced, and that the spending cap will be 5 times the lowest net spend of the team in any league in the Premier League. So five
Okay.
times the net spend of that. And then I believe one of the stipulations for the rules that teams only get 2 luxury transfers per summer window. So transfers where you could spend like £100 million on a player, you only get 2 of those. So the spending cap is 5 times the lowest net spend of a team in the league, and 2 luxury transfers. Will,
So,
what do you think about that?
so you can only get two big dicks, and then get all the small dicks that you want.
Sure. Put
All right,
it
all
like
right.
that. Put
And
it
if
in
you don't
that
know the
parlance.
lingo, you want your big dick is gonna be your Mbappes, your Cristianos, your Messis, your what have you. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? God damn it, I gotta stop saying you know what I mean. I keep catching
Yeah.
myself now.
We've been sauced right now.
No,
Totally sauced.
but yeah, I I'm cool with that. I like that rule. I like that new rule.
You think so?
Hell yeah. Hell
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Um, and I just think one of the things that strikes up to me is that it's also saying this as an American, it's just the Americanification, the USification of the game. You mean spending caps is something that you get a lot in American professional sports like football, basketball, hockey, where you can only spend a certain amount. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like it definitely does well for like keeping things pretty equitable and keeping teams pretty equitable, you know what I mean? But I don't know, man. It just feels like it's just the USification of things, you know what I mean? Like soon enough, like we'll be having North South All-Star games, you know what I mean? And just like, all this like USy kind of stuff. And like, I don't know, just to me, introducing that just sounds very United States style stuff. I mean, I mean, I think yes, it would be good to keep things a little bit more equitable. So, like, on any like teams can compete. There's more competition. It's not just like a handful of teams or two teams just like winning the Premier League. You know what I'm saying? Another concern I have is it will just be adopted throughout Europe, or is it just we're going to be doing it in the Premier League? I think it might be. It's going to be. Um, Hopefully, it's throughout Europe because like if the other countries are not doing it, there's really no incentive to follow it. You know what I mean? But like it has to be something implemented across all leagues, so that it stays the same, right?
Mhm.
So I have some qualms about it. I mean, it's going to go ahead whether I think about it or like it about it or not, and I suppose it will keep things a little bit more equitable. But I don't know. It just sounds too much. Sounds too much like American professional sports, and like like soon enough we'll be seeing like trades or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like I don't know. Just keep it out of the game. Saying that myself as an American, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I see why you don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I I think it'll probably. I mean, in one scenario, I do see that it will definitely teams will start definitely relying more on academy players, like developing their academy players and having them come through the system so that I mean, obviously academy players is cheap labor, right? Like you don't need to like pay them like multi-million dollar pound um they don't need to they don't need to pay those players multi-million pound contracts. You know what I mean? They just well they do, but not like 50 million pounds, right? They just come through the system and then um like that just like and then we reap the benefits of them. Like look at all the times that City has reaped the benefits of academy players: Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Micah Hamilton, Oscar Bob. Um, you know what I mean? Rico Lewis. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we have one of the best academies, so best academy systems in the world. If this whole rule goes into place, like we have one of the best academies in the world, so we can definitely have that. You know what I mean? But like ultimately, if it's not being implemented across Europe, it's going to definitely affect our competition in other places. If La Liga and Bayern Munich are not doing it in those leagues, you know what I'm saying? So and Patrick Hawley saying Premier League is going to fall behind European clubs if this goes through. So that's what I'm saying
Hmm.
as well. But yeah, so that's other things. We kind of been talking about the Premier League race here a little bit, and but we have 4 more games to go. Will you know what I mean? So
See.
one of the tightest races in recent memory. You know what I mean? But what are your thoughts going into these last 4 games?
Just keep winning, baby. We gotta keep winning. We it's who's gonna trip first, Arsenal
Who's
or
gonna
us?
think
Because
first?
yeah, because we got if we win every single game, we're gonna have to win by what? By goal differential or by 1 point? How does that go?
Arsenal has a better goal differential right now. So if
Okay,
things were to come to a draw, yeah, it wouldn't bode well. You know what I mean? So they'd have to like drop a game at least. You know what I mean? And for us to go forward on points
damn, we need United to win, bro.
for real. That's what I'm saying.
Holy
Like
shit!
jokes aside, we need United to beat Arsenal, and that's what I'm saying. Is that like they drew Burnley, we need them to play. Need them to beat Arsenal at home. You know what I mean? To get a statement victory, and also have Arsenal drop another game. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, we like to all make United jokes, but for real, we need Arsenal. We need United to win this one. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So that's why, like, I'm kind of like, come on, United. You know what I
yeah.
mean? In this
Uh,
game, you know?
Bradley Prouty is saying that Arsenal can't handle pressure. Let's hope
Yeah.
he's right, man. Let's hope he's fucking right.
I hope so too. I mean, Liverpool's already dropped by the wayside. Now we need Arsenal to crack under the pressure. And I mean, I just think that that's definitely. I mean, the more I put hope in that Arsenal United game, the more I'll be let down. But but who knows? Maybe they'll drop to the next game. I gotta pull up the schedule right now. Uh, but just that's going to be a tough game. And this United squad has been up and down, and I'm sure not sure that what their record against top 16s is off the top of my head this year. But I mean, United can turn up on any given day. Yeah,
Mm,
Arsenal. What's it? Bradley's also bringing up. Shouldn't overlook Everton. And then
that's true.
Patrick Holly's saying, I'm not ruling out the Arsenal Bournemouth match. Seeing stranger things happen. I mean, like, we've been trying to predict when Liverpool and Arsenal will drop, and we've had our predictions, but like no one predicted Liverpool to drop the Crystal Palace at home. You know what I
That's
mean? No
true.
one, no one predicted them to even draw West Ham. Well, I actually predicted that. I could go back and look, but uh, like, just like Arsenal Bournemouth definitely could be a banana peel game. And on any given day in this league, you can drop a game like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah. So anyhow, what was I gonna say? So yeah, I mean, Premier League race. We're nearing the hour mark, so we gotta quickly preview City versus Wolves, which is our game this weekend.
Yes.
Playing. Oh, I believe we're playing away this weekend. So Will, what are your thoughts about this match?
Well, I mean, just like everybody in the chat, it's a fucking must win. It's a
Yeah,
must win. And I really like the way the squads were done for Nottingham Forest. You know what I mean? Like the whole starting with the famous back four, and just man, we just gotta start off strong. We need Phil Foden in there for this one, dude, because
yeah,
he wasn't there for Nottingham Forest. So
yeah. He was out with illness. Diaz and Foden both had illnesses, which is weird. Like, who's poisoning our shit? You know what I mean? Like, we had that with KDB against Real Madrid. Like, we're just getting all these like rogue illnesses. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, yeah. So, anyhow, but City versus Wolves. So you're saying we need you're talking about you mentioned backline. So who's your backline going in this game?
All right, now because the guy's good, Gavardiol,
Yeah,
Gavardiol, and
Yavardio.
okay, Gavardiol, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Kyle Walker. That's what I want to see. That's what I
Yeah,
want to see. You know, and then give me Rodri, Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish, Erling Haaland, and Bernardo Silva.
yeah. I mean, I've been hearing a lot. There's been a debate around who's our back four, but I think obviously I think Diaz and the Stones is our preferred center back pairing.
Yeah,
Gavardio is definitely going to be. I think he's solidified himself as the left back choice. But I think in this whole mix, like, I mean, don't sleep on Ake though. You know what I mean? Like, Ake, in my opinion, I think if not, he's my favorite defender. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I don't necessarily rate him as a backup. You know what I mean? But I just think that he obviously gets mixed in and rotated and whatnot. But like, but I mean, I just say, like, if Ake gets started on there, I totally welcome that. He's one of the most capable defenders in this league. But I definitely think Ruben and John Stones is our preferred center back pairing. But I do think John Stones is, I mean, just his unreliability, his injury stuff does cast a lot of doubts in the coming years. I'm not sure what his contract looks like, but um, But yeah, I mean, I would say definitely that's our preferred center backs.
Hmm.
Bradley Prouting says, I don't like a Concha being in the midfield. He's too slow. Yeah, I mean, we've been saying this on this podcast too, where we have like I think he's Pep, especially in the Real Madrid game, I believe he tried having a Kanji do the same thing that Stones could, like tried playing
Yeah.
like Stones, and it didn't work out. You know what I
Mm-mm.
mean? Like I think definitely that was something too as well. So but filling out the lineup, who's your starting striker for this game?
Me?
Yeah.
We. You, you didn't hear anything I said earlier?
Well, no, I didn't because I'm a teacher, dude.
Oh
Remind me.
shit! Sorry, sorry. I said Erling Haaland. Erling
I was
Haaland
hold
for
on,
this one.
strikes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm a teacher. I don't listen to shit. Like, kid says something to me, I'm like, yeah, whatever, go away. You know what I mean?
Wah, wah,
Like,
wah, 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 wah,
uh,
wah.
I heard the back line. I tuned out for the front four, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're over
yeah.
here still making scripts for FA Cup, man. I know what you're doing, dog.
Oh, dude, I haven't done an Epic Cup episode in ages, and I'm so busy, dude. I'm
That's
so
funny,
busy,
dude.
man. I'm doing like an advanced teacher exam right now, so like, I mean, that shit went by the wayside. But I definitely got some Sergio Gomez content up my sleeve that I still got to get out before he leaves. Yeah. So Bradley probably says that Holland has to start, and he'll get a double. He'll get a brace. So, Will, what's your prediction for this match?
Mm, against the Wolves. Damn, that's gonna be a good one. And somebody in the chat says they still had a couple of injuries, but nonetheless, never count them out. So I'm gonna say this is gonna be a 4-1.
4-1.
4-1.
All
Yes.
right. Damn.
4-1 with the Halan brace, like Bradley Prouting says.
I will say this is another 2-0.
Mm. So close
Yeah,
game, huh?
close game. Yeah, it's gonna be another nervy game.
So the Wolves
But
is gonna might give us the business.
yeah, I think they can take it to us, but ultimately we'll get a goal. And I'll take up Bradley Prouting on a Holland brace.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bradley Prouting said that remember Wolves manager is carded and can't stand on the sideline.
that is also true. I saw that on City Extra. Like he got carded and he can't. So there'll have to be some stand-in, some proxy manager.
Oh,
So
okay. All right,
yeah.
right.
Uh, so just as a heads up, though, my people who are watching on Instagram, we're nearing the hour mark, and IG turns off their live, so the stream will be kind of ending here pretty soon.
Yeah.
But we got our predictions in, and
If you want to see the
we'll
rest, go on YouTube and go to Hollywood Kippax.
go to Hollywood Kippax. So Patrick Holly bold prediction 5-0. So if jump over to us on YouTube if you want to keep going, but it'll be turning off here momentarily. But yeah, I think so. Who's it? Bradley probably was saying something. Let me go back to his comment. Uh, well, he was talking about Tottenham. So the way that City plays, I feel Tottenham could park the bus and we might not score till late.
Hmm.
Do you think that's how Tottenham's going to play? Park the bus?
I mean, it's a very big possibility, but I want to go game by game, and we'll feel that week of for Tottenham.
Yeah, we'll feel
Yeah,
the nerves and anxiety for that. You know what I mean? And
yeah. I don't want to add on.
we'll be previewing that game when it gets to that match.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm at the end of my tether. Will, was there anything else you wanted to mention before we sign off?
yeah. Wish your boy a speedy recovery because I get surgery tomorrow for my hernia, which don't think it's a big deal, but still, wish your boy a speedy recovery. We're trying to
Yeah,
fucking link up for Wolves, so hopefully
yeah,
it's not that bad.
yeah. So Will is going to go under the knife. So do wish him well. But this is also a good time. We should plug the podcast. So you can
Yes,
follow
sir.
us at Hollywood Kippax, Kippax across all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and did I say Instagram? Damn, I used to have that unlocked. Huge announcement though. We have 300 followers on YouTube.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah, so we just hit the 300 mark on YouTube, and we appreciate you guys. The kit giveaway will be announced tomorrow, uh,
Whoa.
and then we'll be having the end of the season giveaway this month because if you look at the calendar, the FA Cup is on May 25th and the season ends. Then you know what I mean, because just that's the last game of the season. So this is the last month of the season, and we'll be doing it at the end of the season, and then we'll be talking about our summer plans because I got some summer plans. You know what I mean? We've been enjoying building our fan base up this year. We really have taken off leaps and bounds, and so we'll be doing content throughout the summer, and keeping the party going, keeping the Kippax diehards together for the
Yeah.
summer before we go into next season, right? I'm sure it's going to be an interesting summer as well in terms of transfers and who's going where. And so we'll be keeping up on that talk. So, yeah, so appreciate you guys following us on YouTube. If you haven't done that, so smash that subscribe button. And, so we can keep growing our fan base. So we're trying to make it to 1,000 and, and start, monetizing our channel. So,
Yes.
but we appreciate you guys subbing along the way. And we're also very close to 2,000 followers on Instagram. So if you don't follow us there, follow us there on Instagram as well. Because after all, we are the number one Man City podcast on Instagram.
Yes,
So
sir.
Will, final word. Anything else you want to say before you sign off?
Yep. Let's get this W. Wolves against Man City on Saturday. Huh?
Saturday, yeah. And we'll see if we'll be live streaming or not. We'll be recovering and we'll see where we're at. But yeah. So this has been an episode of the Hollywood Kippax podcast. I'm your co-host Alex Millage. Join me as always is Will Lopez. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in on Instagram or on YouTube. Once
Yep.
again, you can follow us at Hollywood Kippax. Kippax spelled Kippax across all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yes,
This has
sir.
been this is a podcast, Man City podcast, that your girlfriend tells you not to worry about. This is a podcast that tells you to support the best team in the land.
The best team in the goddamn world. Come on,
Come on,
City.
City. Come
Come
on,
on.
City. Come
You
on.
know.
You know it's going to be biblical, man. Cheers. Let's get this W. 4 games left.
Let's
Let's go.
go.
Cheers. Good night.
Buenas noches.